Songwriter Soup.
The adrenaline rush of things like the opening of a Broadway show, that sort of high sort of wrecked things that follow. I can tell you after opening night, the very next day, the first question is, will you do it again? Yeah, I want to do it again, but it'll never feel like that.
Healthy recipes for not losing your mind and your money in the songwriter business.
I think there's a contentment that I've been chasing my whole life. And so I'm trying to breathe and trying to meditate and trying to stay in gratitude and in a service. I think those are the only things that get me grounded.
You're here. Yeah. I completely agree.
And welcome to Songwriter Soup.
I'm glad you know where to look, Kevin.
I wasn't. You should have seen my eyes.
Time.
They were hunting around. Wow, what a day. Laura, take it away.
Hi, I'm Laura. It's good to see you again. And we're on camera, and I forget where to look as well. We have the most magnificent guest. Top tier. Where is he? Where is he? There he is. Shane McAnally is here, and I'm so fucking grateful that you're here.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful that you asked.
Well, firstly, we've had a couple of like people that are at your level, at your caliber on this cast. I know exactly. Quality-wise, no one.
Name them.
Listen.
Right now. Right.
Quality-wise, 0 for me. But in terms of like, just those people that just know how to the trophy room people, as we were discussing earlier, need a whole room for trophies and plaques.
I love a trophy though.
But the thing that I like is that we actually only know each other like this much compared to like we don't go way back. Like we're sort of like brief touch point friends.
But it feels instant. There are people that you just have that thing with. I felt like I knew you the moment I met you. Our mutual friends are people that I know if they love you, that I will.
That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
And Jesse Joe Dillon was probably our first touch point of just like chitter chatter. No,
what do we have? It's a surprise.
Hello, come in.
Thank you.
Just letting the listeners know. We've entered with the Chick-fil-A.
Thanks so much for doing that.
Chick-fil-A tea.
I love the idea that he's the one who got it for me.
I know. Because he's cute.
I just love that, like the idea of like, would you mind running down the road?
I know. I didn't even know.
To the very offensive
Chick-fil-A. Get it for you?
I asked him to bring it up, which was awful. But I was like, we're going to be right in the middle of it. Do you mind?
Oh, you did?
No. Yeah.
That's amazing.
No, someone brought it to him to bring to me. Now watch what happens.
You have some great tea is what you got.
Oh my God.
Are you here?
Now
Have
we're
you
in
arrived?
business.
Oh, whoa.
Shane.
Let's go.
I'm ready.
Should we start over?
I drank 2 coffees to get ready.
You are going to, I'm telling you though, when you post this, there are going to be people
I know,
who are like,
give you shit.
The Chick-fil-A, really? We won't get into it. I
Of all the
understand.
people.
It is just one of those things that is going to have to just live as it does.
I have my, you
Let
pick
it
your
live.
battles. You pick your battles. Like I have my battles, like Amazon. I probably shouldn't order shit from Amazon. I'm a mother. I'm going to order from Amazon.
I know.
I'm letting myself off the hook there.
Yep.
I care about a few things.
Yeah.
Kevin, we're back on track. Should we start over? Should we circle back somehow?
No, this is good.
This is the
This
shit.
is good. I like
I love
like
that.
the
And we
real.
are trying to acquire more sponsors, so
That's a good
I don't know if that's gonna.
Good news is we don't have a
That's
fast
funny.
food sponsor
No,
currently,
that's
so
right.
we're
Maybe
solid.
This is our moment.
So are you, because we don't know each other super well either. I know Michael really well. But are y'all full-time in LA now?
Santa Barbara, yeah.
Santa Barbara.
Mhm.
Yeah. So one of the things that when you were coming in, I was like, man, what a wild move that was. What I may be getting ahead, but forgive me.
I'm curious about. We'll
But I'm
circle
like,
back to all
how
kinds of
did
shit.
how did that evolution go from being, like you were saying earlier, just
Fixture.
killing like in Nashville fixture?
I did not know how to. A few years ago, I got really burned out, and I did not know how to sort of step back without physically not being here. And that was something he recognized more than anything.
Yeah.
Was that I just was depleted. I felt I had gotten into the business side of things so much. And I know there's a lot of people who want to do publishing companies and want to do record labels. And I know we have friends that are doing that. And I wish them all the best. And I hope they have a different experience than I did. it took away the love of the magic of what brought me here. No one could have told me that. I would have had to do it still, like, like a kid.
Learn the hard way.
I just understand why creatives don't run record labels most of the time. I used to bitch about that. I used to say, how is this person going to tell an artist what they should or shouldn't do? They don't know music. But the truth is they know business, and they also know how to separate from, I can't separate from the songs, and it was really painful to over and over have to tell artists that something wasn't working, something they believed in, something they put their whole heart into. The label thing for me was just, it was crushing, and it sucked the life out of me. It made me not want to write. It made me afraid to come to Music Row, because what would happen inevitably is, of course, I'll run into artists that I work with or that write for me or that are artists on my label who are wanting some sort of validation or some answer that I didn't have. And it just really beat me down. And so the idea that I could be somewhere else and just sort of slow down in that respect, but come back and really then in these increments, and I also be away from my kids. So I can do so much in 4 days.
Yes.
Because I'm not rushing home, or it's like I have 4 days of just stacked. And it works. I get very tired when I'm here because it is one thing after another. But I feel very accomplished when I leave. And then I allow myself time to not do anything, which I could not do here. I could not rest in Nashville.
We talk a lot about how you guys are such advocates in the room for an artist as writers. Like, you've talked about that so much. And I can see where that would, going on the business side, that would actually drain you from that mission.
Just talking about it just now, my chest tightened. I had a label for 7 years that closed earlier this year, and people were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about Monument." I said, "We've been trying to figure out how to get out of that for years. Not because we loved working with the artists. I wanted so badly to be able to champion people on a business level as opposed to just a creative level."
Yes.
Well, it's a perfect storm. It's like you watch it happen to all of us over, it's a continual thing. You have an accomplishment in one area, and immediately a different aspect of the music industry starts trying to get you to join it. And then you do that and you do it well. And then hey, come further into the business. And it's funny, you've been, and along with a few of you've been a cautionary tale for me. Not because I ever knew that this wore you out, because actually now is the first time I'm hearing of that. The idea of doing more than writing it would ruin my fun. I think my fun would would vanish.
It's so smart. I mean, I think it's very alluring for people to assume that because you're good at this, you could be good at all these other things. And, Josh Osborne is somebody who has really stuck close to the writing, and he loves it. And he has this time. He goes home right after the write to be with his family. He very rarely will sway from that. I mean, I have to really be like, "Look, I'm only here 4 days. Will you do a double with me?" He almost never will. I mean, he protects his energy. And I am so in awe of that. My ego wouldn't allow me to do that. It was like, I was like, if I say no to this, what am I missing out on?
Can we, let's break that open, because I think that's exactly it. I feel like an ego, it's very alluring when someone says, "You're so good at something. Try being good at something else, try being good at something else." And not only are you, probably naturally, if you weren't a writer, my guess is if that was your full-time gig, you'd be fucking nailing it. Like that would be so seamless and easy.
Right.
It's about trying to do it all and also have a life. I think it's the combination of those things that's like, but your ego, man, I mean, I just think that's it.
You know, what's funny is that I can remember a conversation that, so Smack was up and running and really starting to hit its rhythm. And Jason Owen came to me and said, Sony is talking about doing an imprint. And I can just remember standing in my kitchen with him and him saying, you know, let's do this label together. And I had that feeling of like,
don't do
don't do it. Like, this isn't, like, it's, you know, we're good.
Don't do
and
it.
he said, and this is where my ego kicked in and FOMO kicked in. He goes, I'm going to do it either way.
Oh, man.
So,
yeah.
And then it was like, who's going to be the you if you don't?
And I was like, shit. And there was so much good that came out of it. I mean, what's happened for Walker Hayes, who is one of my, I mean, it's hard to even say friend. I mean, I feel like at times he's my brother, at times he's my child. You know, it's, I've just am so sort of, we're meshed, family and all. Mm-hmm. And so after him having 17 years of failed attempts to have a commercial career, that is what Monument pulled off.
Yeah.
And so that was worth it to me. And that he was our flagship. But, you know, there's also been a lot of things that haven't worked for Walker, and it's damn near killed me.
Well, it's funny too, because it's like, even I say this all the time to new writers and stuff, but even Beyonce has to prove that she can do it again.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter that you won big with fucking, that hit was so massive. I'm sure it was so like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we just got to do this again. But it's like,
well, the moment you do it,
yes,
they're saying what's next.
What's
the
next?
Second,
and can you top it? Can you top it? Can you top it? And I feel like you really have to love the business part to want to top it over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's same to be an artist. You have to want to top your own contribution over and over again. The songwriter life to me, it's a bit relaxing. I just like sow my seeds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And go, oh, somebody popped up. Cool. I'll be over here doing this while you're like, I like the fact that
you're
it's like
so
a garden.
Good at that. I feel like you have to get to a point where you do that, where you plant the seed and stop looking at it. Because I've spent so many years, I still have a problem with it, watching those seeds.
Oh, I do it too.
And, you know,
it's an ideal I pray for to achieve, but I'm describing it because I pray to the God of please let that be.
But that's
my
all
life
you can
all
do. That's all you can do. And you fall victim to being a victim if you try to get to the fairness or the justice of the music business, because there is none. And so you just do what you can, which is write the songs. That's what you do. And that's what I tell people, because the rest of it, as much as you think you're going to control it, trust me, I tried.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't.
Mm-hmm.
And especially now because of the way social media and streaming and these supposed factors of whether or not someone is a star or whether or not a song is a hit. It cannot be, you just can't really tell the way they think they can. They say this is the factor. I'm sorry, but one thing changes everything, and you're on the right playlist, and then you're a star. And if you don't get on that playlist, nobody's heard your song. So for them to say that it's not manipulated is bullshit. And
it is.
That's where I get so frustrated. Well, they'll be like, well, it's not streaming. I'm like, well, nobody even knows where to find it. So those seeds have to just be planted, and you have to know that there is this sort of unseen factor that happens with people. And I have said that to many artists. It's become sort of, I don't know, mantra, motto. Whenever I meet a new artist, or if I have any involvement, I say there is a part of your destiny that is just on you. And it doesn't mean you can outwork people. It doesn't mean that you can outwrite people. There is a part that's just spiritually in your soul that has to line up. And you have to believe it. And that's the only way this is going to happen the way you want it to happen.
We have a big conversation about expectations on this podcast. It's a theme. It's a running theme, just like managing your expectations. And I'm fascinated, like what have you learned from your journey? Where do you set your expectations now? Like, obviously it's like you're already like 12 feet in the Hall of Fame. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're already there. You're there. You've been there for a long, long time. Like where is your expectation now? Like, I know in the beginning it's always, ring that bell once, and then it's ring it twice, and then it's ring it 3 times. Like, where is it now?
I mean, there have just been so many things that have happened that I felt like I couldn't get higher. And the feeling, I'm talking about the feeling.
Yeah.
And
Drug
as
high.
and I mean, they actually are related for me. And the adrenaline rush or the endorphins of things like the opening of a Broadway show, that sort of high sort of wrecked things that follow. Because I can tell you after opening night, the very next day, the first question is, will you do it again? And I want to do it again, but it'll never feel like that. And so, it's just like however my endorphins and my adrenaline got messed up from using drugs. That there's a lot to come back from and a lot to try to create your own good feeling where it's like where it's natural.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I still struggle with that now. When you said that you're there, I just don't know if that's possible. I mean, I think there's a contentment that I've been chasing my whole life. And I don't want to say that, when people say, oh, you get there and you're disappointed because it wasn't what you thought. It has been what I hoped. But I always want more because of the nature of who I am.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to breathe and trying to meditate and trying to stay in gratitude and of service. I think those are the only things that get me grounded.
You're here. I completely agree. I feel like if you get addicted to those things, they're going to fall
short.
They're addicted to like service.
Oh, gotcha.
Addicted to gratitude.
Sorry. Yeah.
Like if you really get on that particular like high, it's real hard to. I don't know.
It's more sustainable.
To me, it is.
It's like less of a sugar high than a protein continuum.
It's not an accident or it's not a fluke when you start to look at all of the great thinkers, the spiritual minds, even religious leaders. They all have the same.
They come to the same conclusion.
They all come to the same conclusion that it's about service and gratitude.
And it's wild. It's like no matter what the religion and no matter who the songwriter, I find. At the end of the day, the miserable ones cannot seem to get there. And the happy ones were there the whole time.
Right.
And I'm like, ooh, man, I really want to figure this out before I'm 90, Like there are people who wait a really long time. Like a handful of people are coming to mind where I'm like, you wrote the best song on earth. And I mean, every songwriter, you probably know what song I'm thinking of. Every songwriter cites a handful of songs.
Totally.
The best songs ever written. And there is one in my head, zapping it to you right now, where the writer is just so sad. So sad. And I'm like, I wrote with this person and I was like, how you wrote like the American Songbook top tier, every songwriter's favorite song. How are you unsatisfied?
Yeah.
And I just remember going like, note this, Laura, don't forget this. Like, don't delete that. This is possible. You could literally have reached the absolute tippy top of a mountain and end up so sad. And I work really hard to make sure I don't get caught in that. And I think it's a good thing to spread. And I think it's a good thing to talk about because I think songwritership it's so feast or famine. it's so, when you're, it's like that songwriter, like #1 week thing. It's like everyone's like high five, oh yeah, and then it's gone in 7 days.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, it's like a 2-weeker, and you're like 14 days. That's it.
of success.
You know what I mean? And it's over.
I'm also really like completely spent on the #1 thing. Like as a publisher, or I don't even call myself a publisher, as an investor in a publishing company who I'm so happy for these writers to have those 7 days. And I remember that, meaning those first ones where you're just like, I got there. But the town's obsession with it. People, the way that my name is listed is always followed by the number of #1s I've had. And the songs that have made my career and made my heart right, they weren't #1s. I have very few, if any, of the songs that I would want like on my tombstone weren't #1 records.
Well, that's a funny distinction too, because like you said, right now, when you're alive, they say Shane McAnally, X number of #1s.
Yeah.
It's almost
Weirdly,
like that's your value.
It's your value when you're
Oh,
alive, but weirdly, when you're gone, they say your 3 best songs.
Writer of the 3 best songs.
They never said, they don't use numbers. They only say he wrote this, he wrote this, he wrote this, and others. And I always think to myself,
what are the others?
The others are the things I was worried about. Look, you know what I mean? Like the
others for me would be the #1 record.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the others are the ones that are unmentionable when it comes down to it. So I always operate like I'm going to die tomorrow.
Right.
And man, I immediately thought of The Architect. I'm like, that's got to be up there.
Yeah,
and
it wasn't even a top 40 record.
It's like the fact
Really?
and the impact, like, fuck.
Yeah.
And the idea of that is it's unconscionable in a way. You can't quantify someone's value or a song's value by how many plays it got.
No.
If its effect on lesser plays literally changed lives.
Well,
because of what you said earlier too, of how manipulated those plays are anyway.
Well, also, I mean, I think it's easier for someone like me to enjoy having a song like The Architect because I'm rich. I mean, honestly,
you're right.
The thing is, that's hard early on when you're writing songs like that.
And
I really like what you just said.
And then you're not able to make a living. And you're going, but I know I'm writing
excellence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And so
it's such a good point.
I was able to enjoy The Architect in a way that I definitely could not have 15 years ago.
Prior.
It would have broke my heart because I would have been like, you're not even going to put it on the radio? I'm not going to make any money from this,
I think what you just said is so important to magnify because at a certain point, you're wealthy enough to enjoy a number 50.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But those 50s are literally like death to a new songwriter.
Totally.
They're miserable.
Oh, and I work with some songwriters that are they're having that happen over and over and over because that's what happens.
Of course.
Yeah, it's part of the deal.
Just like, oh God, I wish I could tell you how unimportant this will seem and how much more important those songs will seem to you. But I understand.
I know.
Yeah.
You have
it's
family.
a feeling you have to go through.
Yes.
But it's also the era has changed.
It is.
How much The Architect would have made if it were the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would have made some bank.
Totally.
That's what's sad. And we talk a ton about like, what are we going to do about this?
Well, I will say this. I feel very, very lucky that the height of my commercial career happened at a time when radio was still king.
Correct.
It's a scary time for somebody who hasn't hit that moment yet, because meaning the quote hit moment, because I don't see right now how people make a living doing this.
What I'm hoping for, and we talk about this a lot, is podcasts like this, which there are many, talking about this incessantly, having superstar songwriters like you on here talking about that as a truth and a reality. Like, obviously David Israelite and Bart, they're all doing God's work in DC.
Yep.
But and there's a theory that public opinion has no sway on DC. I tend to disagree. And I do feel like we have to keep talking about it and keep this conversation alive. Because I have the same gratitude. Like, I am so lucky that radio was still, it wasn't as campy. There was outside pitches.
Totally.
All of those things were still like alive and well. And I've got girls and boys right now that are like newly signed and they have a little bit of virality on TikTok.
Yeah.
And they're keeping their deals because of that virality.
Right.
But they're not making any money.
Right.
And it's just injustice. It's going to ruin this medium. It's going to ruin the American Songbook.
Certainly the quality
at some
of it.
point, the quality is just going to...
Well, because people can't
survive.
And can you imagine a world where The Architect wasn't written?
Yeah. Well, that's very kind of you to say.
I mean, that would be a tragedy.
Thank you.
For all of us as listeners. I mean, that was so impactful. And so many songs of yours, I could list them, but that one is just top of mind because like, it still I'm still going back to it and going, the fuck? I'm so jealous of the room that created that song. That's like that's when I know. I'm like, God, I wish I was there just to experience however that evolved. And God.
Well, so much of it was her. And I know that's not what we're talking about, but she has a way of getting in, as I say, how do we get in without writing this the way you think we're going to write it? I love that people look at the title, The Architect, and don't know what they're getting. And that is because she aspires to that, you can go down a road with Casey and you, as a songwriter, you're like, we're there. This is, we're killing it. She'll just be like, this is just not, she just has an instinct that, very, very few people have.
She's just authentic to her core. Like, she
also,
wants authenticity.
it's her. She knows who she is.
Exactly.
And that is rare. And there is no regard for what people are going to think. When you write the song, she has to feel it.
I love that she won on that. It's so sick.
For the non-songwriters in the room, what does getting in it mean? Like, unpack
it's like a breaking it open. For me, there's always a moment in writing where I exhale, where I go, the rest doesn't matter. That's it.
It's like it's done.
Okay.
There's this weird moment when it's funny speaking of architecture, but like the scaffolding is up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big scaffolder in the writing room. I like to make sure that I understand what it's going to look like before we like run and start building. I want to understand like what it is going to look like. And I have this little mental checklist that goes, oh, it's already written. Now we just have to find the words. Like, I understand what it's going to feel like and the arc of the story. I understand it, but it's not written yet.
Well, that's what, in The Architect, what happened was I don't remember when we came to it, but it was when I'm assuming it's her, but it was when someone said, can I speak to the architect?
I can only imagine it was Josh. Only because I can so see him going, can I speak to the architect?
Yeah.
Like, I can see him saying it.
Yes.
And I have predictions on this song that was something he said that you were like, fuck, run. Tell me I'm wrong.
She had the title, The Architect.
The Architect.
But we didn't know what to do with it.
What to do with it.
Yeah.
I also have this theory that she said something as small as an apple. Who said it? Was it her?
Oh, for sure.
Because that
I mean, without even knowing, that is so an opening that
is a Casey
that she would
signature opening.
How do we open this thing? Yeah.
Speaking of opening it, like I literally,
but
quite
the
literally
apple
opening
in
it.
the song, because we were trying to make religious references without being on the nose, and that was where the apple came into play. The conversation of
I love songwriters so fucking much.
I know.
We're
too.
The best.
The personalities, the eccentricities, the hearts. There are no characters like songwriters. And
I agree. In what other industry are there collaborative vulnerabilities like this? Like, in what other industry do you get together and go like, okay, let's make each other cry?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
totally.
what the fuck is that? I don't know. Like even movies, probably screenwriting.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. Do they get in rooms? They do.
I don't know if they
Yes.
get together as much.
Comedians do, right?
Comedians.
I
That's
bet
a good
they
one where
get
it's
in there,
like,
hey, let's make everybody fall
but
down
it's
the floor.
collaboration. Like
Yeah.
co-writing is this very specific one where you're getting together and going like, okay, how are we going to move the human race today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who, like, what is that?
I know.
That's crazy.
And the challenge of that, and you know, one of the people who does that the best, and also somehow walks the line of I swear she's a happy person, and she has been the whole time I've known her, success or no success, and that's Brandy Clark. I don't know how you're that brilliant but not fucked up. It's still
That's a really great point.
It still confuses me.
It's like she can step into the character of just a mess
And
while
just
not
enjoy it
being
and just
herself
a mess.
a mess.
And she's not. She's really not. But she has so much love for a mess. She wants to surround herself with broken people, me included. And she is just, there are things. She has had a life of, she's had things happen to her.
Sure.
She has not lived a heartbreak-free life. That's not what I'm saying. But
she really
mentally,
manages.
she is she's pretty stable. I mean, for years, I just assumed she was on some pretty great medication. And when I finally had the nerve to be like, "What are you on?" And she's like, "Nothing." I'm just like,
Well, I think what you guys tell us, normal people walking around out here as songwriters, when we're listening to your songs, is that it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's other people feeling what you're feeling.
Yeah.
And because there's so many songs I hear, I'm like, wow. Because you look at my world and think, oh, pretty buttoned up, everything. It's not. We're all walking around in absolute chaos.
Yeah.
And you guys remind us that there's other people in that same
chaos.
Put
it on the outside.
Yeah.
Isn't that cute of us?
It is.
Humans are so cute.
I want to circle back to something you said earlier about the service and gratitude. How do we've talked with Laura a bit about how she sort of prepares walking into a write. Mm-hmm. How do you set your mind right in all the stuff you have going on? And you're going to walk out of here and probably go to a co-write. How do you set your mind right to enter that space and be in service?
I do pray for that clarity, that my version of God will walk through the room or sit with us. That more than anything, that whatever the person in the room needs from me, that I will provide that, whether it be a song or not. It shows up in song because that's what what we're conjuring, creating. That was our intention.
Yeah.
But I really try to remember that it's not about me. And that's my prayer before I walk in, is a deep breath and God speak through me,
mm-hmm.
And let me be available for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like what you said about whether a song happens or not. I always have like a specific unplugging of the expectation. I do it real early, especially if an artist is going through something shitty.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, we can just talk. No need. Like if a song comes out, and it always does.
I know.
But making sure that they don't feel like, oh, we need to use this.
Yeah.
Give me all your, I feel like it's a bit aggressive sometimes when you've seen it, I'm sure, when a writer is just like, they're going through a breakup. Everyone.
Totally.
Let's go hard. It's just too much. It's like too much. They are human beings. And I've said this forever, but the songwriting room should be the safest place for an artist, period.
Yeah.
They're going to go from there and be in a studio and they're going to make it. And it should be just one step less safe in my head. Mm-hmm. The songwriting room should be safe,
Absolutely.
know? And so, but I love the whole, a song happens if a song doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's a good day.
Right.
A good day is the goal, connection, all that shit.
Can I also just say, pro tip of the year, before you walk into a songwriting session or whatever collaborative sort of situation, getting right with it's not about me.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Because what a gift you're giving yourself to let yourself off the hook, to not be inundating yourself with yourself.
Yes.
That's the way you just said it, letting yourself off the hook. It took me years to not feel like it was on me, even if there were 5 of us in the room. If it wasn't right, I believed I was
At
to
fault.
blame.
Yes.
And would leave there going,
What
I
could
have to
been?
figure this out.
Mm.
I have to. I mean, I rewrote and would send text messages. Sometimes it's just that song had to be written, and it's just that's what it is, and
Right.
nobody's gonna hear it, and that's okay. You don't have to
Got that one
spend
done.
all day and night trying to figure out what was wrong with it and why it was my fault. And that's where it's not about me comes from. You're right, and that's perfect because that was exhausting. And I still fall into it a little, like where I'm like, I'm sure if I can just get quiet, if I can just let it go for a minute, it'll come to me.
Mm.
Whether it be the right hook or something that's going to bring it home. But
it's that ego thing again.
it is.
Because really, like my favorite songwriters, and I'm sure you feel the same way, don't take credit really. Like everyone's just
Right.
like, the song was in the corner.
Yes.
As long as we
I
just
say
don't
it's in
scare it away.
like it's in the rocks, and
Yeah.
you're like chiseling
Chiseling.
everything else away from it. That when it's right, it's always been there.
And the
and when I
ego will
hear-
tell you, like, I did that. And then on your next go, you start thinking, well, now it's my job, A. Or B, you don't know what you're doing. I've made the thing happen. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I know, like that. We were talking about that on the last recording with Carrie K. Like those songwriters who really think, and you have the cute version, you have like the sweet version of like, this is my responsibility. It's when it turns into an ego blowout where you're like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Oh, right.
I know what I'm doing. Like it's really tempting. And those are fences you fall on
But
either
by
side
the way,
of.
it's still very ego driven for me to think it's my responsibility, because that means that somewhere I think that I can do it.
Yeah.
Right.
That I can manipulate it.
And the
And I
best
could
of
see-
it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I could see where the young songwriter, the first timer, if I'm the first timer walking into a room with you, I think I've got to prove myself.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
And the seasoned veteran, I've got to carry it. Like there's two egos working
there is.
that have to kind of get set aside
Mhm.
for a minute and say, okay, we're all in this together. You might carry a piece, you carry a piece, I carry a
Yeah.
piece.
Just like not spooking it. I feel like
Yeah.
that's really the
Don't
chisel
spook
is
the trout.
just don't spook
Yeah.
it. Like just
Mhm.
don't scare it away. And I think all of those voices, if I'm having a day like that, those voices scare the song away.
Hmm.
And so I'm trying to like not scare the song away always, Anyway,
That's a great way to say it.
and we're all playing with these, every day it's a different thing. I just know what my goal is. I'm not like 10 out of 10 about it, but I know what my goal is. And my goal is to walk in selfless,
Yeah. Yes.
like song hunter, self-free. Just where is it? And the artist is always the conduit of, that's the plug, what they're feeling, Have you ever written a song where you've accidentally, but in a nice way, ended up in it so much that it's your song?
Oh, so much.
Which is one that people know that you're like, fuck, that's mine. I'm sorry that my shit's
Well-
all over your artistry, but I'm in there,
When I first started having hits after having moved to Nashville 14 years prior, when I finally started getting cuts, I had just gone through a breakup that demolished me. Somebody that I really wanted to, it was just not right, but I wanted to shape it and make it. And the very first song I had cut was Last Call by Leanne Womack. And the first line of the song, what happened in the room was, and we had been banging our head against the wall, nothing had been happening. And I never even had a cut. And my phone rang, and there was a number on my phone that did not have a name attached to it. because I had erased his name from my phone. But I know that number inside and out.
You know exactly.
And I said to Aaron Enderlin, I said, you see that number? That number looks like a brand to me. That's not even a series of numbers anymore. And the first line of the song is, I recognized your number. It's burned into my brain. I wrote about that relationship long past what it was still doing to me. I could step into the character, and that relationship is really, I mean, even well into my marriage, even well into having kids, it was like a character that I could go back to and really draw from the crazy that I was in. And that is in so many songs. But recently, there's a song called Man or the Song, that Old Dominion. It's not a single. It's on the new record.
I haven't heard it. I got to look it up.
It's good.
Well,
it's good.
That song feels very personal to me. It's like, will you love the man or the song?
Whoa.
And it felt personal to everyone. You know, we wrote it together, but I listened to it and think, wow, this is, you know, when I'm looking in the mirror, I see a man on fire. Am I a radio poet? It's like, it's what am I without this? And at this time in my career, it really hits for me because, and it's weirdly, it makes me think of my kids because they don't care. And I'm always thinking like, what will they think later? What will they look back and go, wow, he really did that? Because they still don't get it. I mean, it still happens where people, it is. But it's hard. I mean, because I've always been on the search for validation, and started with validation from my mother, and, you know, then changed to validation of partners. And now there are moments with my kids. I took my kids and some of their friends to see Shucked in LA last week, the Pantages. It's on tour.
Amazing.
And it was one of the first moments that my son had ever put together because his friends were so excited.
Right.
His friends loved the show so much that I noticed after the show, he was very like up against me. Like being like, Dad, hey, Dad. And I, more so than normal, like, this is my dad. And I liked it a little too much, to be honest with you, because
I felt that same thing.
Yeah, it's because I've not been the dad who, although I'm at every sporting event, I've not been the dad that he has that, you know, that he's a sporty kid. Yeah. So to him, it's like, my dad doesn't want to shoot hoops with me, mostly because he can barely have the backboard. And so that was a moment where I felt like, I was like, oh, this is so, I feel so good about this. But there's also a feeling of like, but that can't last, just like everything else. So I have to be careful of how much I like it.
Just the fact that you can say all that. Says everything.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know, that's evolution.
Yeah.
Like observing yourself and going, I know what's happening
But
here.
guess what? The next morning, because I was still I was like, what did your friends think? I mean, and he was done. Like, it was shut down.
It was over.
Yeah, it was over.
Funny.
So quick. The kids are awesome for people.
They are very sobering.
Right.
There are a couple of lines in this song of yours that I feel like I like announce to the songwriter room like once a week, twice a week. And it's I hate my life, hold on to me.
Oh my God, this is so, I have chills right now because, okay, what's the other one?
That's it. This song. I talk about that song.
This is so weird.
And that part of that song so often that I'm sure there are co-writers that are like, we know you like the song, Laura, calm down. I'm like, no. We have to do the thing where it's like, I hate my life, hold on to me. I'm trying to recreate the left turn of that lyric.
I know.
It's Somewhere With You, Kenny Chesney, just FYI, look it up. It's so
on the
good.
Playlist, hopefully.
On the playlist.
We still doing that?
But truly, like, that to me is elite songwriting.
Well, the reason I said I got chills was because people always ask me, what's your favorite line in a song you've written?
Fucking kidding.
And this morning, because we're doing this, I was like, what do you think? Because it changes, and there's a line in Vice that I always point to, which is, "If you need me, I'll be where my reputation don't precede me." And
Dear God,
and that
great.
hits me. That like hits me because I always have this like fantasy of like disappearing. Of the, I think a lot of creative people are like, "What if I just got in the car and I drove away from it all?"
Yes,
and
I literally went off
who
the
that
cliff.
character is. But then my brain went, "But no, it's I hate my life. Hold on to me."
I cannot believe that. Because to
It's
think of the
so
number
weird
of
that
the
you
number
said
of hits
that.
this man has had, to think that we both zing on the same.
It's
one
because
line.
you're for the same reason I love it is the same reason you love it, is that they don't. Why are they next to each other?
Yes.
Because they are in life.
But it's in the room.
In
the
the room.
randomness of that
It
Yeah.
felt,
is
it
so
felt
hard.
random, I bet, to write. I imagine you going, "I have this idea. I hate my life. Hold on to me." And someone going, "That's a bit random, but okay."
Yeah.
And they trusted you just long enough for it to be the highlight of the fucking song.
What was JT Harding, who I wrote it with, who I don't remember because we didn't know that was as important as it came to be, that line. We were just like throwing things and it was like, it's gotta feel like it's train of thought. Like
and
just,
desperate. It's so desperate. It's such a desperate, vulnerable moment that vanishes. I'm sure, like you're watching the song, and there's this, when you're in a relationship, especially when you're young, like teens and early 20s, where you just drink this much too much, and you say the most uncomfortable thing. You would never ever say that. You'd never say that. Like. And then you kind of take it back. You hope they forgot that you said it.
Yeah.
It's that line.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
It is that. Thank you for acknowledging it. It's funny because I'm able to talk about it almost as if I didn't write it, which is why I responded the way I did, because I don't think without a greater source, that song, that wouldn't be written that way. That wasn't me.
It was the corner. You just listened to the
exactly.
corner.
Yeah.
I love it. There are a few songs I bring up so regularly, and that is one. It comes up once a week, if not more. I'm always like, we have to do the thing. We want to do that feeling thing,
Yeah.
Anyway, kudos.
Thank
I love
you.
it.
And quick clarification for the listeners who are still in that phase of their life into their late 30s and approaching 40, who are still saying the uncomfortable thing and then trying to retract it. I see you. And I'm with you. It gets better.
It gets better.
Move on.
That's awesome.
Moving on. Crazy. You were gonna
my
left
pivot
turn us.
was thank you for your vulnerability and sharing just the feel of all the, especially I can relate so much with kids and how chasing them, whether it's on, in my world, it's been in a different place, but it's the same thing. I've been with their friends trying to hang with, and it feels so good.
Yeah.
And then I have, most of my clients tend to be younger than me, but I've got some that are moving from wild success to then pivot into, wow, I'm not doing the same thing I was doing to create that success. And I look at what little I know of your pivots. It's been really incredible of, thinking about great songwriting into Broadway play, into TV, the bravery. That's the first thing that pops into my mind is like, man, that's like going for some cool stuff that could have not turned out great.
And, I guess by some, there's some levels of those things that they may not, again, I like the TV thing. I loved doing that show so much, Songland. And it is a success because I got to do it for 2 seasons, but I got really hurt that it didn't go on.
Yeah.
And I feel I've just recently sort of really let that go, but I just loved it so much that I didn't understand, like, why did that go away? It just felt so right for me. But there were things that happened between then and now, one of them being Shucked, and I wouldn't have had the time to do that. I also got sober. And that was a big part of it, what needed to happen. So that is just an example of, that I appreciate the saying these have all worked, and they've worked in their own way to get me to get me here personally.
Yeah.
But there are things that I'm like, oh, that didn't go the way I would have planned it. I understand it, but I didn't get to write that script just the way I wanted.
That's a good lesson though to hear, I think, is that because outside looking in, Songland was a huge success from a viewer. And so that it's cool to hear you say that, well, that wasn't the way you would have scripted it.
I would have done it for 10 years,
right?
Because I just loved it so much. I loved the whole process, and the people, and going into that as like a gig. It just felt, I just was like, I just love this.
It's all such theories of relativity in terms of failure, because we're so used to a certain brand of failure as songwriters. It's, we write 200, 2 get through.
That's right.
5 get through, maybe.
And
then the next year, write 200 more, 0 get through. Next year, write 200 more, 10 get through. Like, you don't know. You actually don't. And that brand of failure, quite cozy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm cozy with that. You try something else. Like, honestly, this fucking podcast, there's so much passion about me just trying to help this next generation of songwriters to just feel more cozy about this job. I'm so excited about it. Luckily, if anyone's listening, I consider it to be a success. So I don't really have like a...
But that's so smart. I mean, we talked before we were recording about a podcast that I did, that we did 2 seasons of it. We couldn't quite figure out what we were doing. We were great friends. We loved having conversations, and we thought recording them would be fun. And I don't see, it was fun. There are some hilarious stories that came out of that, but maybe by the standards of what happens with podcasts, and you compare it to, I don't know, these podcasts that people have that are the biggest, the Dak Shepard or the Jason Bateman one, or these are the highest level of commercial success for a podcast. But I am getting to a point where those kind of things, it was like, I'm so glad we did that. That was just fun and
good.
And I'm surprised how many people will come up to me and go, "Oh my God, when you told this story," I'm like, "You heard that?
Yeah.
What are you
but it's
doing
weird when
listening to that?"
When you switch industries, failure hits differently. Like, you go into, obviously Broadway, massive success. I saw it on Broadway with Marin, by the way. It was so fucking much fun. We laughed, howled, talked about it all night long. So good. That was successful. So it hit in this way of like, I tried it once, it worked once.
Right.
But you're used to that not being the case in songwriting. And then we try, TV, tried it once. Again, for everyone else's standards, huge success.
Totally.
But in a way, it's like success is so relative and failure is so relative.
Which is why expectations are important.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Can we just acknowledge, though, when it comes to songwriting, like we've talked about this a bunch, you write 200 songs a year or whatever it is. You didn't put out 200 TV shows, over the course of a career. So you didn't, your batting average is pretty insane.
It's a great point.
Truly, I mean, like, how many people in film and TV and theater, the theater world, the first thing that they did
how
was
many people can switch? What are you, Cynthia Erivo? Like, just switching. Seriously.
I do get pretty quickly, I don't want to say bored, but I get excited to do something else, or something will pop into my head. And you're right. I mean, I like the way you said it. I wish that I always saw it that way, but
sure, of course not.
It is
the challenge.
It is. And I've started doing this like stand-up.
Okay.
Sort of thing.
I'm glad you brought that up,
we
because
talk
I had heard
about
this.
Yeah.
Where did that even come
you see, I
up?
shrink telling you.
Like,
where did that
I just
even
go
come
live?
from?
Well, it's, a series of things happen through the years where one being the way we do like Bluebird rounds and how that's not something that the world knows about.
Right.
And I've always had these stories about my family that are sort of my go-tos, at parties, or people will be like, tell a story about your mom. Because my mom she is a character. And so, I mean, we had a tanning bed in our house growing up, and we were not rich. And that, I know that I'm just saying that, let me just.
You're just setting the stage.
And we were obsessed with like dieting. Like it was just this, like our family sport was dieting.
Oh my God.
And it goes on and on.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was just a character that I've realized through the years, when I tell stories about her, people are like, tell me another one. Mm-hmm. And I'm a storyteller, and I really enjoy that process. And so it came to a thing of like, what if I did this on stage and I was able to lean on as sort of a crutch, I guess, what I've been doing for 20 years at the Bluebird or other places. And that's what it is. And so what it is I take pieces of songs that have been recorded, and I show how pieces of my life are in them. And I mostly do it with comedy so far. And so, Mama's Broken Heart is a song that Miranda Lambert recorded. And the first line is, I cut my bangs with some rusty kitchen scissors, which my sister did when she was going through a breakup.
Dear God, that's amazing.
So it's those kind of things that my sister was in pageants. My mom was a stage mom, and Mama's Broken Heart is all about making sure everything looks right from the outside in. Mm. And I can tell people, and of course I had co-writers who had similar experiences. Casey Musgraves and Brandy Clark are like, oh, I know this relationship. So I'm certainly not taking all the credit, but what I am doing is going, this is how a life in a small town in Texas for a gay kid leads to country music.
Yeah.
Extrapolating it has got to be satisfying.
It
be
is.
like, where am I in this song? And then adding funny. That's just great.
It's fun. And I think that also being a gay dad, I didn't realize how much material was in that, because I'm doing the same thing you're doing and it doesn't matter. And I think for maybe in California, maybe in New York, people are just like, big deal, you're two guys raising kids. But there might be somebody in the middle of the country who goes, wow, I never thought that they have the same issues as their kids are hitting puberty, and their kids are going, wait, my dads are gay? How does this, what?
How does it affect me?
Yeah, because they think we're nothing beyond them, that we walk out of the room and like shut down.
Right. Right.
That's never crossed their minds that, that we have a life beyond them. So that's been a lot of fun, sort of telling those stories. I have a blast.
Are you doing this sometime soon?
Well, I've done shows in New York, LA, and Nashville, which I call it my built-in warm audiences for friends. And I'm going to do a version of it on the road with Walker Hayes as an opener in November.
No
Unreal.
way.
That's
I'm
great.
I think we're doing like 11. And they're theaters. He's doing an acoustic storytelling sort of thing.
He's so good at that.
So I'm gonna do a little thing before him that's not quite what I've been doing, because the thing I've been doing is a story of my life.
Yeah.
And I won't have the time, or this is about his show. But yeah, next year my plan is to really take it out there, and to do it in places where people don't even know the songs, but it won't matter. Do it in a way that people, they'll hear the songs in the show, but they may not. I can't depend on the hit factor.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of places where people don't listen to country music, but there's still an interest. Yeah. But
you're so fearless to jump into another freaking.
I'm with fear. Trust me.
It
is.
Well, they say like comedy is the most like soul crushing entertainment field.
And I have been very lucky because I've cushioned it to this point.
Mm-hmm.
It has been rooms that love me.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I want to be in one of those rooms.
Yes,
I need to come
we're going to go see Walker Hayes.
Yeah.
Well, I would honestly, I'm super excited for y'all to see it when I do it in Nashville again. I mean, I did a couple of nights at Zany's last time I was here, and it was just really fun for people to go, oh my God, I can't believe this is how this happened. Everybody's songwriters, anybody can get up there and tell their story and something crazy happened to them, I promise.
But what you said about the Bluebirdie and
yeah,
entertainment.
I've been doing it.
Yeah, we've all done it. And you're right that it's
people
a secret.
Say like oh, you decided to be a stand-up comedian. I was like,
we
have all been doing this. This is not just something I pulled. This is
the best
Barry
parts
Dean
of a
has his Barry Dean jokes.
Yeah,
and Jimmy Robbins has his Jimmy Robbins jokes. Like we're all joking. And we have, like you said, we have our like
go-tos. The best part of a Bluebird show is the jokes in between.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of something, thinking of, I just wanted to let you know that in our household, your Christmas cards are legendary.
Well, I know we didn't get it out last year. Which was, let me tell you, devastating.
They're awesome.
Thank you. I wish I could tell you that. I wish I could say that didn't mean a lot to me, but it does. Somebody yesterday,
I thought it might.
I was doing a photo shoot yesterday for this thing, and I was like, "Oh, I've been in this studio before, actually." And the guy goes, "Really? What were you shooting for?" I said, "My family Christmas card," and he was like, "This is where you shot your family Christmas card?" I said, "Yeah, we had multiple stylists and
props were involved."
There was a theme and a story, and that Christmas card cost more than all of the Christmas gifts that we gave that year. I don't, that is a childhood. That comes from a childhood want of having a family to put on a Christmas card, and that has been something that I have dealt with, and there's a lot of ego and a lot of history in doing those cards that way, because I just always had this dream. I would see people's Christmas cards with their family on them and think, I want that. And I think the gay kid in me thought I wouldn't get it. And so that was where that came from.
It's funny, now that you mention it, the people in my life that are the most obsessed with Christmas had the worst childhoods.
Yeah.
Like Christmas it's like important.
Yeah.
It's important that it's like
family.
It was also the thing. My mother was really over the top about Christmas because our life was chaotic, and her trying to keep everything together, it felt like a place where she had like some sort of control.
Yeah.
And so she was making sure that the Christmas was going to be this snow globe, glistening, perfect world. And then the afternoon of Christmas Day, by 2:00 in the afternoon, everything was gone. The Christmas tree was gone, and everything was vacuumed, and it was done.
This is resonating to another part of the story, folks.
Familiar. That's insane.
Wow.
I want to end with one last question for you, which is, if you had, it's hard. I'm guessing you're not a regret guy. I'm not a regret girly. I'm not one who goes back and says, "Oh, I wish I whatever." But if you could whisper into the ear of little Shane before anything happened, less like the ones that everyone will typically say is like, "It's going to get better. Keep going." I mean, the version of you that's sitting here now trying to find these balances with your feeling validated and all of those things. Like, is there anything you would whisper to your young self and just say like, "Hey,"
I get emotional. It's so silly. I know.
It's not.
I wish so bad that I could have gotten ahead of the shame of my sexuality, and that I could tell him that I know it is similar to it's going to get better, but that that I'm okay, and that I got all the things, and I don't mean music.
Yeah,
the
lifestyle.
I wanted to be a dad so bad, and I really didn't think I was going to get to, and so that's the part that I wish I could have just said, take a breath,
Whoa.
you know? And I spent so much time spinning out on that. How does that happen? How does that happen? And so that would be the thing that I would say is that just take a breath, and it is going to be okay. And I have to remind myself of that now, because I have a feeling in 10 years that I'm going to wish I had been able to do that a little better right now. And I'm getting better.
We're all getting better.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love you, man.
Why'd you make me cry?
I just love you so much. I think you're so wonderful and special. And I'm so happy that we got to spend some time with you.
And I mean, clearly I would wish that we could do it all day.
I do too.
Yeah,
in fact, I was the one
exactly.
peeking. I'm like, I don't want you to be late for your ride,
so
because
sweet.
it is. But I think you're wonderful. Thank you for
Thanks
making
for
time
being here.
today.
That was
Thank you,
amazing.
Shane.
Yeah. And guys, that's it. Have a great day.
See y'all.
Bye, y'all.